It's Monday. This is a laptop I picked up. I'm still out of town where we're just leased an office, also leased an apartment. We've got our home under contract and technically sold, but not closed back home because we're making a big move. And where we're moving to will have not only apartment that we're renting while we look for the right home, but also, maybe the added expense to rent an office where I can set up a recording studio for future YouTube videos and entertainment value. Do appreciate you joining me. I want to share some thoughts. So we're mid-June, and historically, summer hasn't always been good to crypto. In fact, it's almost never been good to crypto. You never know how it's going to play out, as history does rhyme, but it doesn't repeat. And it's played out that same way, and that the early summer has been brutal. So I do feel like we're getting near the end of this pullback. And, in history, since I've been in crypto about 4 years, I've been through these pullbacks, even in the middle of a bull run before. And I just feel like it's a mini bear market or just a bigger retracement after having gone up a lot early. But I still feel like we have plenty of room to run this cycle, and that, eh, yeah, there's some signs that that is coming. So, I did want to share with you some thoughts since I frequently talk about making life changing wealth through crypto. It's worked out well for me as I've been through two cycles. Didn't work out well for me in my first cycle, although I did have gains going all the way up to 150,000. I didn't take profits on that. I believe the hype that this time it would be different and that it would keep going. And so I didn't take profits, only to watch that 150,000 retrace all the way to about 2,000. Now, most of that was invested in altcoins, which do extremely well during bull runs and do extremely poorly during big retracements. And even that, you've seen that in this mini retracement that we've had, or this mini bear market. You've seen some of your altcoins retrace 80 to 90%. So I still hear people say, "Oh, we're not going to have a bear market after this bull run." I was like, no, we are, and you just got a taste of how that is. I mean, we've had just this mini bear market, and you've watched some of your altcoins retrace 80 to 90%. What do you think is going to happen after a gigantic run that I think is still coming? So I don't believe the people that think that there won't be a bear market this time. Could be that they're right. I tend to wait things out, because you never know exactly how it's going to play out. So you have to just give it probabilities. And the probabilities are high that we still have another bear market after this bull run. And the great thing about a bear market is that creates amazing opportunities to buy. But essential to that working out is you have to have taken profits during the bull run to have liquid cash available during the bear market. Now, because I didn't take profits last time, I had to work really, really hard at my role that I was an acquisition specialist for a real estate investment company, and I would make their acquisitions, and I would get paid a percentage of profitability. So I had to work really, really hard to give myself extra disposable cash so that I could roll that into cryptocurrency as much as possible. So I lived off of just a fraction of what I was making, and I just put as much into crypto as I could. And during that bear market, it's pretty frustrating because you put a bunch of money in and then it retraces by like 50%. So you might have just put in like $10,000, and now that 10,000 is worth five, and it's frustrating. So then you buy some more, and guess what happens? It retraces again, and it's very frustrating because you don't know where the bottom is. But it does work out over time, because all those purchases that I made in 2019, even later 2018 and 2020, I mean, the values are way up from there. So even the ones where I bought and then it retraced by half, and then bought some more and then it retraced even more, values are way, way up from there. Of course, I wish I could have waited till that third buy level, and but nobody has a crystal ball. You have to make your best guesses. And so I did look for big retracements to make those buys. And sometimes on big retracements, it then retraces more. And that's okay, because that's still a wealth maker buying at the bottom of the bear market. Now, I had learned some lessons in 2017 that I didn't invest in these super high risk things. Now, in 2017, I did play with the super high risk things, and it did not work out well for me. So about later 2018, I made the decision I was only going to focus on projects that weren't I didn't put in that category. So what would I put in that category? I'd put all the meme coins in that category of the super high risk when they don't have a function outside of just being a meme coin, like a real function. Not, oh, we give some to some charity. That's not a real function. So I've only been a fundamental investor since then, sticking with projects I feel like have solid fundamentals, and I do look at their tokenomics. And for those that are newer to the channel, I covered that a lot in early January and February. I'll cover that some more coming up. I like to be at my office where I can easily pull up the charts to cover those kind of things. So stay tuned, and I'll go over those for those who are new, how to really analyze a project, look at the total market cap, look at how much of the current tokens are in circulation, as well as how to look at the team and analyze them. So we'll look through those things in the coming videos. I've got a big transition coming up in the next 3 months as I'll be moving to a completely different location that's, over 1,000 miles away. And so, yeah, I'll keep the good content coming, but I won't always be at my desk with my nice computer with my nicer camera. So I did get this laptop so I could continue bringing you some content while I'm out of town, apart from just using my phone. But I do appreciate your patience as I get things set up to be even better. So behind the scenes, continue to grow contacts. I should be talking to someone on the Cardano team, higher ups this week. I don't know if Charles is going to come on my channel. He did make an announcement months ago that he was no longer going to come on channels that talk about price. Now, I get not talking about price with him, and so I wouldn't talk about price with Charles, but I will always talk about Cardano price because I'm an investor. And so price is extremely relevant to me because though I believe in good projects, I also believe in buying at the right time. And I would much rather buy Cardano at $1 or $1.20 or $1.40 than I would at $10. And at $10 is definitely a time that I'm exiting some of my Cardano. So price is always relevant to the way I think about cryptocurrency. And as much as I love the technology, I'm here for life-changing wealth. And so, yeah, it's a win-win that I can support the technologies that I think will change the world in positive ways, as well as change my financial future in positive ways, right? Because like many of you, I didn't come from a wealthy family. I came from a, I guess, lower middle class family, sometimes lower class, at least with the amount of available money that we had. Never grew up hungry, like we didn't go without, though I never sometimes didn't have near as much food as I would have liked. Definitely didn't have any of the finer things of life as a kid, and I do appreciate that from my parents. They gave me what they could, which was love and care and family unity. But what they didn't have was money. What I realized is money brings options. It does not bring happiness. The truth is, family and good friends bring more happiness than money. But money does bring lots of options, and those options give you some freedom. So I wanted to have those options more in my life because my father, every time his job said he had to move, well, then we had to pick up and move. And I had to try to make new friends and move to a new place that I had to get adjusted to. And so I didn't love that. And so, yeah, I felt like, well, if I can learn what the successful people know and I can do what successful people do, maybe I can have what successful people have. And it does work that way. And if that's what you're looking for, I hope you feel this is exactly the right channel. I can't give you financial advice. It won't give you financial advice. I can't even tell you what to do, but I just share with you what I'm doing. And hopefully that helps you. And I do try to cover the projects that I think are solid and that have the best chance at doing really, really well. Now, do keep in mind, though, it's always important to buy those projects at good prices because things sometimes go way up and then they come way down. And remember, buying after lots of red candles on projects with solid fundamentals has always been my strategy that has worked so well for me. And so I try to share that all with you because I want for many of you to have life-changing wealth. And I say for many of you is some people won't be able to control their FOMO. So some of the things I talk about, it's okay. They just aren't right for this type of thing. This is a good place to be, and many of you will start to pick up what I talk about and learn it, and it will go really well. And a few of you won't because of impatience and other things. With investing, I can be very patient. That at first I was impatient, looking for and chasing green candles. I don't do that anymore. I don't chase green candles. I just realize that I've missed it and I look for other opportunities and taking profits on the way up. Some of those things I had to learn, even though I knew them in real estate investment. It took me a little bit to figure out that I needed to apply those in crypto investment, and I made some mistakes. And hopefully, I can share those mistakes I made to help you avoid as many of them as possible. Do thank you for joining me, and look forward to seeing you more. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and this is more of what you're going to get. Sometimes it'll be flashier, sometimes it'll be more entertaining. I did want to get a nice office so that I can try to up the entertainment value, because trust me, the bear market is going to get boring. Now, why it's important for me to increase the entertainment value is I know how hard the bear market can be. So if I can find ways to make at least the videos entertaining as well as informative, it'll help many more of you stick around during the bear market, and that is where you make incredible wealth. Now, I am highly invested in this bull market still. In fact, I haven't cashed out and taken my money out of crypto because I still feel personally that there's a lot of gains here, and so my strategy is playing it that way. Though as we hit this next run, because I feel like we have at least one more big leg up, maybe even two. There might be one coming in the next couple months, and then might have another big pullback, and then one more. It seems like the patterns are lengthening over time, or we have one massive blow off top and then a massive correction. I'm not certain how it'll play out. I'm actually leaning more towards the theory that we'll have a pretty big leg up, kind of like what we experienced in February and March. And then we'll have another retracement. And they'll kind of shake a lot of people out, and they'll say that we're entering the 3-year bear market, just like what you saw. And then we'll have one massive run, which will cause a lot of those people who had sold out to FOMO back in, only for the market to then take their money as it crashes real hard after that second big run that would be sometime early next year. That's the theory I'm leaning towards right now. I continue to watch the data as it evolves and update my thinking as I can see the patterns that are forming. I do want to thank you for joining me, and we will see you next time.